Oh, can't hear.
Let me just unmute. Hello, I'm Boyd. I'm from Penampang. I actually live in Johor, but I come back to KK quite often. I'm from the Joman family, which is, I guess you could say it's probably the whole of Penampang. I can see there's quite a few relations here. I think Josephine Manchaji, of course, the family tree, it's all there.
Oh,
and then
okay.
also quite a number of people that are familiar, of course, through this channel, as well as through connections between us lah. So, Kopivasian de Susviavi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, because this is such a global event. We are all over the place, and it's wonderful to see. And Dr. Pam and Cousin Rich, we had a wonderful time in Arkansas there. I didn't go, of course, but it's good to see. And I think it said in that one, Cousin Rich, that the Kadazan people are an indigenous population over there, which is pretty great. And I think the same thing that Alan is doing with New Zealand, we are also becoming quite famous in that sense and connecting with the Maori. So this is very much a global event, and it's great to see you all. Thank you for being here. I'm your host or co-host in this sense. I'm not going to talk a lot after this because you guys will need to talk on your own. As Cousin Rich was saying, each speaker will introduce themselves very briefly at the beginning, and then please, you have your 15 minutes altogether on that. I think there's plenty enough time. Usually, my speech, whether it's at the UN or somewhere else, it's roughly about 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. So this you can talk quite a lot within that time, and we are very much looking forward to all this, and especially to the audience. Some might not be familiar with our culture, our traditions, but it's wonderful that you are all here and we work together in producing such a wonderful event. I think on FB it's live, on the Borneo Forum channel, it's live. So it's good that that is happening. People can see what's happening, and hopefully, we will get together in spirit, at least, when we talk about our situations, where we are now. One of the wonderful things, I think, is the spread of our people around the world. It's all over the place. And for example, when I was in the UK, we had the Sabah UK Association. I think Alan has a very strong one in New Zealand. And of course, Australia, I think Rohana also has very strong connection there. So we are all over the place, and it's wonderful to know that. And I think you could also say whenever we are in the world, we can contact each other so that we are not lost wherever we are. So hopefully that will happen as we go. So I think I've said enough already. I will now pass you to Ken, who will elaborate on the fact that we are Borneo Forum and why it is there and why we are doing this event. Thank you, Ken. Thank you all.
Otobian, Piposian Soviavi, Izo po Ken, Mantad, Kampung Limbahau, Papar Sabah, minority, the Tizo in London, hide to the London, ya. So, selamat datang semua. Terima kasih sudi hadir kepada Borneo Forum kita. Dan saya akan bahasa Malaysia, Indonesia sedikit. Sebab mungkin ada orang Indonesia yang hadir juga di forum kita, ya. Saya lately banyak membuat penyampaian dalam bahasa Indonesia. Ada juga terikut-ikut bahasa Indonesia, slang Indonesia sekarang. Banyak buat Zoom. Now, saya berasal dari Kampung Limbahau, Papar Sabah, Kadazan, Ken, Dunstan, Kundaya. Mungkin ada yang kenal juga latar belakang kami setelah abang saya Roger Dunstan, seorang co-founder of ADCA. Dan saya sendiri sekarang berada di London. Latar belakang saya adalah dari segi undang-undang, hukum. Kami menubuhkan Borneo Forum dengan tujuan untuk membina satu lingkaran ataupun network yang boleh menghubungkan rakyat atau orang Borneo bukan saja di Sabah atau Sarawak, tapi Kalimantan dan Brunei. Jadi matlamat ataupun inti matlamat Borneo Forum itu supaya kita boleh semua berkenal-kenal, boleh bersatu, boleh membuat satu jaringan, network seluruh Borneo untuk kita membuat sesuatu. Untuk kita boleh menyatukan. Kita bukan satu organisasi politik, kita organisasi social enterprise, ya. Borneo Forum adalah social enterprise. Tujuannya bukan politik, tapi lebih banyak ke arah keusahawanan dan juga sosial dan budaya. Jadi tujuan Borneo Forum ditubuhkan untuk menggunakan teknologi kita virtual ataupun live supaya kita boleh membina jaringan ini, ya. So the mission of Borneo Forum is to connect all Borneans or called Bonnesians to each other, because now Borneo it's developing so fast. Obviously, we have history. Borneo is in 3 different countries, separated because of history. The Dutch in Kalimantan, the British in Sabah and Sarawak, and of course, Brunei as well. Now, Labuan as well, part of the Wilayah Persekutuan. So, we are fragmented politically, but this is the thing that we should not let stop us to really connect. And one of the thing that we are really want to grow is our indigenous people connection. We know all over Borneo, we are really the same. All the Dayak, all the Kadazan, Dusun, Muruts, Rungus. If you look at all of us, we are the same people. We are one big family. Yeah. And for a long time, we didn't do much to unite that because it's costly. It's costly to do that. But now with the internet, with almost free session, with Zoom, this is now possible at a very low cost. So we thought, let's do this, create the Borneo Forum. This is the phase 1, to connect each other on Zoom cheaply. And then, of course, phase 2, we will organize live event, networking event, and that will be also very much entrepreneurial. We are very much into entrepreneurship, about business. Our last session in April was all about business, about Chamber of Commerce and all that. Kita tahu baru-baru ini ada disiarkan Borneo Economic Community, BEC, telah disarankan, sudah ditubuhkan. Borneo Economic Community adalah satu yang amat baik. Inilah plan-plan yang boleh kita gunakan ke depan supaya kita boleh menggunakan existing network atau existing plan for us to unite. Another one, salah satu lagi itu BMP Iaga, juga mengenai seluruh Borneo. Pertubuhan begini sudah ada, it's ready. Kemudian ada juga desas-desus untuk membina jaringan kereta api, ya, the train network. Disiarkan oleh Brunei, membina Pan Borneo ataupun connection kereta api, train, Pan Borneo Road, of course. Dan most importantly, yang lebih penting, pengisytiharan Balikpapan dan Samarinda sebagai ibu kota baru Indonesia yang dipanggil Nusantara. Saya baru-baru juga pergi ke Nusantara, melawat ke titik 0, the 0 point, berjumpa dengan orang-orang di Balikpapan, Samarinda. Amat sekali satu perkembangan yang orang Sabah Sarawak harus tahu, karena pusat ibu kota Indonesia ini akan mempunyai impact yang besar kepada Borneo. Bila ia berkembang sebesar Nusantara, Sabah dan Sarawak, dulunya kita selalu ke Kuala Lumpur untuk bercuti ataupun membuat bisnis, kita sekarang harus melihat kepada Nusantara sebab banyak peluang di sana. Banyak peluang kita untuk berniaga dan berhubung dan bersatu. Oleh itu, Borneo Forum berharap untuk membuat peranan ke depan untuk menjadi fasilitas ataupun facilitator, again, untuk membina rangkaian jaringan orang Borneo dan juga perniagaan, dan juga yang lebih penting juga ialah acara-acara kebudayaan seperti ini. Yeah. So why do I feel the festivals all over Borneo is such a crucial element in this mission? Because we riding on the cultural festivals It's already made. This is us. This is what we are. We will ride on this opportunity. At the first place, we hardly know each other. We should have a Pan Borneo festival. How about that? In the future, this is the initial stage. We have a Pan Borneo, maybe once in Sarawak, once in Sabah, once in Kalimantan, all the 5 regions. We have a Pan Borneo festival together. Because we see, basically, it's all organized around May, April, June. And Pinnacle could be a one big event in sequence, maybe every year or even every 3 years, every 5 years. That is the dream. We want to use the festivals as our vehicle to know each other, to have a common ground, to realize we are one big family in Borneo. And this is our mission. Boyd here is actually one of our vice president. He is a specialist expert in environmental protection. And he is passionate about that. And this is one of the core mission of Borneo Forum, to also contribute in the protection of Borneo environment, not just the environment, but also the rights of the indigenous people. When we emphasize too much on indigenous, we of course not excluding other people. We are very, very welcoming. We are non-political. We are social enterprise in format, but also we are a for-profit, but the profit goes back into our mission. We have subsidiaries underneath us who are fully for-profit as well. So it's a very much a for-profit organization with the community interest, with a social enterprise model. So this is the dream of Borneo Forum. It's a small organization at the moment, but we hope we plant the seed for future to grow our unity in Borneo, to connect, and what best to do it, but by riding on our cultural heritage. It is so beautiful when we see the presentation later that we are so not just the same or similar. We are not just similar. What we are so the same. We are essentially the same people, the way we dress. We may sound a little bit different, but we are really one big family in Borneo. We are so happy with that. So without further ado, actually, I'd like to introduce Boyd Jorman, is our Vice President of Borneo Forum. Also, Richard Sanpunai is also our Vice President. And Mr. Alan Dumbong is also our Vice President. I am the President. And we are also looking for more directors and Vice Presidents, especially from the ladies. At the moment, we are all male. So we are really looking for more participation. And this is our dream. Yes, we may not be able to deliver big time, but we make full use of the technology. We make full use of our time. We are all full-time working on business, but this is it. We do this on a very low cost at the moment, and the objective, of course, is to have live events, live festival, live networking event in the future. So thank you again. Terima kasih. And welcome to all the guests. Welcome to all the speakers. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for Richard for being the main person organizing this event. Terima kasih. Totohadan. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Wonderful to know things are happening. And I think you have a fair idea of what we are all about and why we are here and what's the purpose. So do join us if you can, or by joining means it could be just joining the forum, because there are lots of topics that we talk about. Of course, mine, I deal with, in terms of a VP, this side, if you like, I deal with climate and energy and resilient environment. So basically all those things that are of concern, not just to Sabah or Sarawak, but also the whole island of Borneo, and globally, of course, it's happening already. One of the things I want to share is that we had a forum in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, where it was in October, where we made a declaration. The forum was on climate, and we made a declaration then, and we submitted it to the UN at Glasgow Conference of Parties about Borneo Forum Declaration of the Environment. 23 signatures, and it's wonderful to see that this kind of thing, I will share with you later on the chat box of what this is all about. Please, if you like, be part of that, because we are all Borneo, and we should work together very much on how we handle our climate issues or climate crisis that we are facing today. So I will share that later on. Okay, are you, if you're ready, I'll give the mic to you. Looking forward to your topic. Thank you.
Halo, saya dari Indonesia. Maaf kalau saya berbahasa Indonesia ya. Sebelum memperkenalkan diri, saya ingin mengucapkan selamat Hari Keamatan, Gawai, Adil Katalino, Bacuramin Kak Saruga, Basengat Kak Jubata.
Harus.
Harus. Bolehkah saya ingin mendengarkan teman-teman untuk menjawab arus?
Boleh.
Harus.
Adil Katalino, Bacuramin Kak Saruga, Basengat Kak Jubata.
Harus.
Terima kasih. Sebelumnya saya akan memperkenalkan, nama saya adalah Ayuan Prawida, biasa disapa Ayu. Saya dari Kalimantan Barat, West Borneo, West Kalimantan. Mungkin teman-teman di sini ada yang sudah tahu alat musik yang saya pegang sekarang. Ini adalah alat musik tradisional suku Dayak. Ini adalah musik tradisional suku Dayak Kenyah, Kayan yang tersebar di Sarawak dan Kalimantan. Ya, namanya sape. Sape atau biasa disebut sampe.
Sampai.
Baiklah, saya izin untuk memainkan lagu pertama, instrumen pertama untuk teman-teman di sini. Semoga menikmati instrumen yang saya mainkan.
Thank you.
Ini kalau suara Ayu sendiri kedengaran ya Bang ya?
Dengaran. Ya.
Oke. Maaf ya mungkin ini bermasalah ya. Ayu ceritakan tentang perjalanan Ayu bermain sape saja boleh ya?
Ya.
Oke.
Thank you.
Ayu bermain sape itu dari tahun 2016, kurang lebih sudah 8 tahunan bermain sape sampai sekarang. Dan Ayu biasanya hari-hari itu live streaming di TikTok. Gitu. Kalau mau teman-teman ingin melihat Ayu bermain sape juga Ayu ada TikTok, Instagram ataupun YouTube. Boleh nanti teman-teman cek sendiri. Ini nama akun-akun Ayu itu Ayuan Prawida. Maaf ya kalau saya bermainnya tidak kedengaran karena saya tidak tahu ini sound card-nya di saya terdengar tapi di sini saya tidak tahu kenapa tidak terdengar.
It's okay. Thank you.
Maaf.
Thank you, Ayuan.
Yeah,
I
thank you,
think.
Ya, Bang.
Thank you. Good.
Kongsi video nanti ya.
Ya, siap.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Ayuan. I think it's because you are connected to the microphone. Jadi you have to take the microphone out.
Iya,
The headphone, sorry,
bergema.
and transfer the
gema.
headphone to the computer. So you pakai computer, and then you should be able to hear it. Because if you use your headphone, semua demi suara comes out of the headphone, so it doesn't come out jelas lah. So maybe try nanti. Kalau we got time, we will come back to you, and then you can play and try that first and see whether it works. But don't use the headphone, and then that
Okay.
might work altogether. Because I'm using the computer to project my voice rather than headphone. Then the whole thing is clearer. But thank you. We'll come back to you on that. So sorry, it didn't quite work out, but try that one, and then we'll come back later on and come back to you. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you,
okay.
Ayuan. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay, Wenda, if you're ready, I'll pass it to you, and then you go ahead lah. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayu. Nice to meet you. So first and foremost, kaansayan dan salam sejahtera to the moderators, to the other very knowledgeable speakers, and also to all of our attendees. And now I would like to thank our own Mr. Richard, who will be sharing my slides because there were some technical issues even up till today, earlier today, when I tried to share my screen. So thank you, Richard. And now, welcome to my very humble presentation on how the Murid Kalimantan cultural festivities keep tradition alive amongst the youth. Now, I have to give a PSA so that y'all know that this presentation is mostly based on my own experiences and my own thoughts. So it's completely up to you. It's up to you if you want to take my word for it or not. So now, a little bit about myself in the next slide. Now, to some of you, you may know that I am Miss World Malaysia 2022 up till 2023. And to those who did not know previously, hi, nice to meet you. I am of Dusun Tatana and Murid Tahul descent. My father comes all the way from the district of Kuala Penyu, and my mother is from the district of district of Nabawan. And currently, saya pun tinggal overseas macam kamu, tapi overseas dari Sabah in Kuala Lumpur sajalah. I've been residing in Kuala Lumpur. In the last 10 years, I pursued my education in the Bachelor's of Science and Information Systems in Sunway University. And right now, I am in the process of pursuing my Master in Public Policy. Now, the reason why I say in the process of pursuing is because I am wrapping up my review and also to see if the university that I am under right now will be able to give me at least a partial sponsorship. So I hope they are watching this live stream right now, and I hope that all of you pray for me in the journey of pursuing my master in research. Now, currently, I work as a journalist and editor. I had a little bit of a career change since I finished competing in Miss World, where previously I worked as a data analyst. Now, enough about myself, moving on to the actual content of the presentation. In the next slide, thank you, Richard. Now, if you Google, what is Kalimantan? This would be either the first article or one of the first few articles that will pop up. And this is actually the article that I submitted to Miss World right before I competed in India about my experiences as I attended the Festa Kalimantan 2023. So here I tried to sum up in the best of my abilities based on my own research on what the Kalimantan Festival is about, especially for the larger international audience who might not know of our communities in Sabah. In the next slide, I will show you about some of the pictures that I took when I attended the Festa Kalimantan 2023. Now here's me all done up in the Pinongkolo. It's actually the same one that I am wearing here today. And I attended and met a lot of notable people. Right in the left-hand corner, you can see I was also with the Chief Minister, the current Chief Minister of Sabah. And also I lawat tamu and also try to be more present with all of the activities that they organize throughout the whole festival. And in the next slide. Now, my main topic that I would like to talk about today is the importance of the youth involvement in festivals like the Kalimantan Festival. Now, I see this platform in festivals such as this one as an opportunity not only for those who grew up within the culture, but those who may not have been raised to, learn about the culture, such as myself. For example, I wasn't raised speaking the Murid language, but I believe above the adult age of 18 or 21 is when you take your own responsibility in order to learn about the culture yourself. And so festivals like this give us a platform in order for us to immerse ourselves in cultural festivities and activities. So as you can see in the pictures, even kids as young as 4 or 5 already don in their traditional attire. And this, installs like the sense of identity in them as they grow up. So regardless of where they are in the world, just like the rest of us, we have that sense of identity that we are Sabahans, that it is in our blood, regardless of where we are planted around the world. So besides that, when I visited all the tamu and I saw all of these young faces being a part of the businesses, selling traditional goods, even traditional food as they were cooking, they were making the food, they knew exactly the ingredients from A to Z. And to me, when I see this, I realized that it doesn't matter if a person has a formal education, which of course is still important, but even though you do not have formal education and informal education from hands-on experiences of being a part of entrepreneurship experiences like this allows you to create your own destinies for the future. And, festivals like this it's an experience for people to see that this is exactly the kind of platforms that our young people need. Now, one of the most important activities that pretty much is my favorite, I'm pretty sure you understand why. In the next slide is the faces of the previous contestants of the Rala Kalimantan, which is the beauty contest. As you all know, because I have been in pageantry in the last 8 years, it is my makanan. So I see the value of beauty pageants within our communities, especially traditional beauty pageants. Now, Rala is actually the equivalent word to the Karazan Dusun word of Sumandak, which technically means a young woman. Right? So I see these young women who are actively participating in these traditional beauty pageants as ambassadors to promote and preserve our very rich culture and tradition. Because I realized that even within my family members right now, ever since the implementation of, and especially for them being motivated to learn more about our culture and our traditional language, to learn our traditional language, that it gives them a sense of importance to put in efforts, like balik kampung 1 bulan, learn our traditional language and learn from our, those who know more about our culture, and learn all of that in order to be a better representation of our people when they go and compete, regardless of whether it's in the district or state level. And even such as myself, I try to present that on the national and international stage. So, the opportunities are endless out there for our young women. So as you can see, on the right-hand side is a picture of the contestants of Rala Kalimaran 2023, organized by LKS. And on the left side, you may have seen this recent event being broadcasted of the top 3 of Rala Kalimaran 2024, organized by KDMM. Now, before I end my presentation, my hope is, as you can see, there are 2 different entities that have been producing Pesta Kalimaran previously. Now, LKS has recently announced that they will also be having their own Pesta Kalimaran, maybe in the June of this year, and hopefully I will be able to attend. Now, my hope, first and foremost, I am not targeting any one of the entities or any entities out there. I am not backing up any political agenda. I am speaking on behalf of our young people and as part of the Rakyat, that one day I hope to see the Pesta Kalimaran to have a very, good base and set of dates in order to be put into the calendar, just like Pesta Kaamatan. One of the most important reasons is because, at least for people like me, I don't know if I'm being a little bit selfish, but because I live away, I would like to set my dates a bit further back in order to know when I can balik Sabah and attend these sort of festivals, right? So for example, I know that Kaamatan is on the 30th and 31st of May, which is why I have already applied for leave way before those dates in order to attend at the end of this month. So to whoever is attending Pesta Kaamatan, I'll see you in KDCE. But for now, my wish, my prayer for the future, for the near future, is for us to have Pesta Kalimaran to be celebrated on specific dates, and so that it's easier for the Rakyat to come together, regardless of what kaum, to come together and to come together and to be celebrated together as part of the plan for unity, to forge forward for the unity of not just our nation in Sabah, but in Malaysia. So that is all from me. I hope I passed the test of presenting below 15 minutes. Paring kwanangan.
Thank you very much, Renate. That's very, very informative because it's, and I think for the audience, it's quite an eye opener because there's so many different things there, and it's wonderful that different cultures, or if you like, different parts of Sabah have different celebrations, and the way we do things, of course, is very much endemic to that particular area. So it's good to see that. I'm just wondering, like, one day the American Kadazans, if you like, or the Kiwi Kadazans, and of course, like in Perth, for example, that we might adapt to our new environment and change a little bit of our culture. I hope not, because the idea of being Kadazan and Dusun, if you like, we have a particular way of doing things, and then our tradition should always remain the same. But I don't know. It's something that we could possibly debate one day. Okay, let's move on to the next speaker. I think Audrey is next. So we're going to hear from Audrey relating to the culture of the people in Kelabit area. So Audrey, if you're ready, let's go to you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So good afternoon, everyone, and greeting from Kuching, Sarawak. I think I can share my own screen, right?
Yep.
The co-host, right?
Yep, your co-host.
All right. Can you see the slide?
Yep.
Okay, it's good, right? Okay, all right. So once again, thank you to the organizer. And of course, there are some familiar faces here like Bot for having me in the second Borneo Forum. All right, so I will introduce myself and I try to make it short and putting some of the important points from the points of Kelabit community. How do we celebrate the Harvest Festival in our own way? All right, so yeah, I'm Audrey from.
Audrey, will you be
Yeah.
able to hit the slideshow so it will be on a slide
Okay, all right.
mode?
Okay, is it okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay, all right. So I'm a Kelabit from Long Seridan. My kampong is just after Mulu Cave. So this will be my kampong look like. And my kampong is basically well known with ikan empurau. All right, so this is a real picture taken from my mom paddy field. Yeah, normally in Long Seridan we are more on the padi huma. I think everyone know about padi huma, right? Like in Barrio, normally they are doing sawah padi. Yeah, a little bit different from our due to the locations. All right, so I will share about how the Kelabit community in Long Seridan because there are several Kelabit villages in Sarawak. Like in Barrio, there are few kampong and probably a bit different how they celebrate the Harvest Festival. All right, so I'm also a senior lecturer at the University Malaysia Sarawak. And also I'm in the middle of completing my PhD of Malaya in the areas of environmental. Since young, I showcase of cultural. I've been in the traditional dance. Yeah, so I think it's also giving some economic value when we commercialize it. Parts of our we just preserve it. We also can commercialize it. All right. So in our community, I'm talking in the common practice among the Kelabit community in Long Seridan. Normally, we only celebrate in a small gathering. It's not like our friends from Bidayo and Iban community. Yeah, normally they are celebrating Gawai Daya. It's a kind of happening and merry kind of festival where every year I also without fail we join my friends and the relatives to celebrate the Gawai Daya. Right, so the Irau 40, the meanings in Kelabit it's about the Thanksgiving gathering. Normally we call it as a Irau, yeah, to celebrate the end of the paddy harvest season, yeah. Due to the Christianity, our community had fit it in a way of we celebrate in a religious way. Yeah, normally we do have the gathering venue at the longhouse and at the church. Yeah, so that will be, I think, maybe some of you is not familiar. How do we produce rice? Yeah, that is our common practice at my kampong. All right, so the gathering at the longhouse normally is more on how to say the people will be gotong royong lah, yeah, and that is the spirit of I would say something that we have to sustain, yeah. In the modern era, maybe we are lacking of that value itself, and in preparing the gathering, yeah, normally the woman, yeah, they will be do the we call in Kelabit as a nubalaya, yeah, it's wrapping in a leaf. I think everyone know about it, yeah. So there will be gotong royong, yeah, and after that they will bring the rice, yeah, that been produced with the new rice that they harvested, and everyone can enjoy it. They will share among the kampong people. All right, so this is the irau. Yeah, normally we have it in the longhouse, something like this. Also, we have the rice-based food like the kalupis, right? And panara, that is the common food among the Kelabit community. And this one, yeah, this is the gathering at the longhouse. All right, and uh, another significant the harvest festival among the Kelabit community. They do celebrate at the church, yeah. And during the Gawai celebration on the Gawai, the day of the Gawai, normally everyone will use their traditional costume, like with our Ibans and the Bidayu friends and relatives. And we're gonna have kinds of celebration at the church. All right, in terms of the Ira 40 here, okay, normally the record of each family harvest will be announced in the church, yeah, and every of the family representative will give testimony. It's more like Thanksgiving, yeah, and some of the family maybe they have the small harvest. They can give in terms of tithe, like the money, yeah, not necessary to bring their rice to sell while we have the gathering in the church, and during the closing of the ceremony, yeah, at the church, they will have the blessing prayer. Normally will be led by the pastor or the church elder, yeah. So that the next year season will be, they will harvest more what they have in the existing or the current year. All right, so that is basically how do we celebrate the harvest festival in our own way, yeah. And yeah, that's all from me. All right.
Thank you, Audrey. Very interesting again. It's something very new and we don't hear much about. So let me just put this together. Any comments so far from anyone before I go to the next speaker? No. Okay. I think we just plow on ahead. The next one. Pa Albanese, are you in the channel? Babel?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Please go ahead. Pa Albanese, are you there?
He's muted himself.
It's muted. Albanese, apa kabar, Pak? Dengar, you are muted.
Yeah, okay. Bye.
Please go ahead. Thank you.
Okay.
Perhaps I just mentioned briefly on Pa Albanese is going to talk about the celebration of Gawai Night Dango in West Kalimantan. So it's again something very interesting. I've not heard of it before, but it will come out quite well in terms of the costume that he wears, as well as the content of the EMEA presentation. Okay, but thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. Please go ahead.
Ya, untuk ready untuk share materi, Pak.
Baju cakap dengan dalam bahasa Indo.
Ya, Indonesia.
Ah. Oke. Silakan.
Untuk share materi, Pak, belum tersedia.
Oh. Cousin Rich, you got his slides?
Oh, there's the slide.
Pak Abel menunggu slide-nya. I think he's working on it. Can
we come back to him or go to next one first?
Yes, I think let's move on. Actually, our next speaker is from London, Dr. Lawrence, but I'm not sure whether he's in the channel yet. So if it's okay, Pam, are you ready?
Well, cousin, yeah, is Alan not going less, or are you?
Alan is going to be the last speaker, right?
I can deliver if you want.
Okay, that might be better because otherwise we have a bit of problem. Alan, if it's okay with you, please go ahead. You're talking about the event in New Zealand, I guess, but please do. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Richard, can you share the slide I sent you under the speaker lounge? Okay, kepisanangan nom konsekan kumatay sanan adil katalino bacuramin kasaruga basengat kajubata arus. So today I'm going to present my thought about the Kaamatan. So I've sent the slide. Hopefully Richard can share that from his side. I'm in a small room in Dongongon, and the line is not so good. I just come back from New Zealand last night, and a bit of like haywire, not so organized. But anyway, in New Zealand, Emily Edward and I, we co-founded the DIO, the Dayak International Organization of Australia and New Zealand. And both of us have been appointed by the DIO, which is headquartered in Kalimantan, to be the cultural ambassador for Dayak. Saya di New Zealand and Emily di Australia. And before this, before I went to New Zealand, relocate myself to New Zealand, I was the Assistant Secretary General of KDCA, and I served a few terms in the Supreme Council of KDCA. So you can say that I'm a very kind of a strong supporter of KDCA. I'm a strong advocate for cultural, and I did my anthropology for 3 years in UKM, but then I consider myself multidisciplinary. Now I'm enrolled in doctoral research at the University of Malaya, doing research on the Sulu claim. So my my strength basically is in international politics and international relations and strategic studies. But I'm a very strong proponent for cultural development. Are you able to share the slide, Richard? It's in the speaker's WhatsApp. Okay, basically it's my idea about Kaamatan is the platform. Kaamatan is the platform for sustaining our culture and a platform for cultural advocacy. What I'm trying to say is, here we are presenting, we are having Kaamatan not only to preserve our culture, not only to celebrate the past, not only to have all the events, the tangible events, but we are very much on a serious business to promote our culture. Bukan not to promote alone, but basically to step forward in the global arena to advocate for cultural preservation, cultural advocacy. We are the indigenous people of Borneo. Kadazan Dusun is one part of the indigenous people of Borneo. And we are part of like 10 million indigenous people in Borneo. And in Borneo, the indigenous people can be considered as First Nation. Just like the Red Indian, just like the Maori, just like probably the indigenous in Latin America. So we are part of it, and we are already making inroads, and we are already talking about United Nations now. So we can have all the Kaamatans every year, year in, year out, and now we have spread all over the world. We have in the US, we have in Australia, New Zealand, and what more in KL and UK. But year in, year out, if we just organize the events as such, maybe the meaning is not so significant for me. Because we have the belief system. We have the belief system, it's inherent in our culture. And in the spirit of padi, macam what Audrey said just now, padi huma, padi bukit, padi sawah. What sits in there? Kita punya padi, cultivation of padi is very much part of our DNA. You take the padi from our community, will die. Because that's our identity, that's our DNA. That's very much in our genetic. So why we have this padi? Why we have this Kaamatan? Because of Thanksgiving. God is so gracious to us, giving us enough food. Or if we are malas, then we don't have enough food. But God is always there. The land is so fertile that we have the opportunity to have the makanan. So it must be part of us to be thankful to our ancestors. Can you share me the slide, Richard? Do you find it?
Yeah, let's share it. Let me share it.
But the PowerPoint is not so impressive. But I just want you to listen. my idea is simple, but I want all of us to think about it. So keamatan must have the meaning of it. First, our culture versus global culture. Who is stronger? Our indigenous culture, our Kadazan Dusun culture, or the global culture? Of course, the global culture is stronger. So just like the eclipse of the sun, siapa makan siapa? You know, if we are not careful, the global culture will eat us all, and we won't survive. So then, what we want? Do you want it's like you want to adapt or adopt the world culture, global culture, and where will we stop? Where will be the overlapping? Yeah, thank you, Richard. That's the one. My slide is not so beautiful. I didn't have time to kasih cantik there. Just go to, okay, that's the topic. The platform to sustain the traditions and advance indigenous cultural advocacy. Okay, next. And as I said, it's based on the belief system. And then the rundun, huminodun. Huminodun is the word from Kadazan Pinampang. But the equivalent to the dusun is ruminundun, which comes from the word rundun. Rundun means sacrifice. Somebody got to sacrifice for our people. So huminodun or huminundun or ruminundun, sacrifice, and then God bless us with fertile soil. Yeah. So okay, the diagram, yeah, the round one. Okay, this is the one that I mentioned about just now, our culture versus global culture. Now the yellow is our culture, the red is global culture. If we go to the top, we are separate. We go to the down there, maybe we can look into the overlapping. Saya pun tidak dapat lukis itu overlapping there. Okay, second one, overlapping. And then the third one is our culture is making inroads to the world, and then we are fighting against the global culture, and we are winning in maintaining our culture. The fourth one is we are losing. So now which one we want? We got to decide for ourselves. So during this Keamatan, this is our platform to sustain and to develop, to move forward. Okay, next. Oke, ini yang tadi saya bilang. Next. Oke, itu yang visible. Kita tahu lah apa yang what's happening. And then we know what's happening in KDCA. We know what's happening in Keamatan in Australia. We know what's happening in Keamatan in Kuala Lumpur. We know what's happening in the UK. Basically, menari-menari. Kalau tidak cukup itu tarian Sumazau, if you feel like boring, you add in with poco-poco. And if you are not satisfied with that, you go and do the crazy dance yang you adopt from the US. Yang apa itu? Menari tunggang-tunggang tuh yang I don't know what's that. Okay, next one. So, okay. There are three components of Keamatan. One is the unduk madau. Without the unduk madau, the Keamatan will not survive. Second one is the Huguan Sio institution. Third one is the KDCA. Okay, for the unduk madau, in us evidence in Wianita case, she has advanced to the global arena. But she's lucky. Not many people can follow her footsteps. What if I'm a so pretty girl, young girl, come from a place called maybe Pangas, Apin-Apin, or from Sonsogon, Kudat, Kota Merudu, and my education level is only tingkatan 3. But I'm so pretty. So I contest di kampung, saya menang di kampung, I contest di daerah, Kota Merudu menang, I contest di KDCA on the 30 hari bulan sampai 31 for 2 days. 30 saya kena put up in a 5-star hotel. 31 saya kena crown, or maybe tidak dapat nomor 1, tapi dapat consolation. Tetapi saya punya kehidupan sudah diubah. Cara makan saya sudah diubah. Daripada saya miskin, makan ikan masin, sekarang saya sudah makan pakai sudu yang silver spoon di hotel. Cara makan pun sudah berubah. Saya punya muka harus kena makeup. So, what will happen on the first pukul 7 malam 31 hari bulan? Saya kena bawa pulang kampung. On the 1st of June, saya balik kehidupan saya yang miskin. Balik kepada yang bukan 5-star hotel, balik kepada yang 5-star kampung. Now, I become vulnerable. Itu YB yang muda-muda, yang gete-gete, sudah nampak saya. So, I become vulnerable. Ada orang akan ambil saya, membawa saya ke satu tempat yang very strange to me. Okay, now, but this Kamatan also provide a platform for you to train, to change, to undergo this process of transformation. But who is managing the training? So, but this one provide us the opportunity to train the young girls, to train all the girls, and now sekarang itu kontestan untuk ngadau, sekarang banyak yang cantik-cantik, pandai-pandai. Ada yang medical doctor, ada yang lawyer. So, we can go very far. That's what I said, the unlimited significance of Unduk Ngadau Kamatan. So, now Wianita sudah explore the world, and she is leading our young girls how to enter the global arena, which is good. Okay. So next one. Now the Huguan Siau. Huguan Siau is the anchor, the cornerstone of Kamatan. If there is no Huguan Siau, the Kamatan will be hijacked by so many parties, political parties, interested parties, pub pun mau hijacked. So in the end, tiada yang betul-betul, semua entertainment, tiada dia punya substance. So we must have the Huguan Siau as the caretaker, guardian for Kamatan. And guardian, Huguan Siau institution has to be very strong, because as I mentioned in the diagram tadi, we are entering into the global realm in which kalau kita tidak kuat, kita akan kena talan. Okay, next. Next. You can go through my slide, continue apa-apa yang what can you make out of it. Okay, now the second one is the Kadazan Dusun Cultural Association. The Kamatan, climax of Kamatan has to be done at the KDCA, Hong Kong Kaisan. That's the historical site. Tadi saya lipas sana, I'm very impressed. In the last 1 year, dia sudah kena transform sudah itu tempat. Tetapi the capacity di sana is very limited. But the symbol has to be there. The KDCA has been playing a very important role engaging with government. And then if you see the Kamatan everywhere, the trademark of KDCA is there. Other people can celebrate, but the guardian, again, the guardian for this Kamatan has to be KDCA. Kalau tidak, kalau tiada yang mau jaga betul-betul, tiada yang dan the anchor will go nowhere. And then KDCA has gained the respect from the state government, federal government. On the 21st and 22nd, tomorrow, day after tomorrow and 22, di KDCA akan ada intercultural dialogue. Today, about 30 people come from Kalimantan coming to KDCA. Albinus tidak datang, tidak tahu kenapa, kasihan. We miss you, Albinus. Okay, and then intercultural dialogue with the other Dayak sub-tribes di Kalimantan. And then on the 22nd is the Biodiversity Day, International Biodiversity Day. Ada IUCN. IUCN itu apa? United Nations punya red list yang menjaga endangered species. Ya, ada dari UNESCO will be presenting the paper. So now kita punya cultural system is bukan padi, bukan itu celebration, but the whole holistic of our life in Borneo. We, the indigenous people, have to take the lead, step forward to protect Borneo. Borneo is the third largest island in the world, and we are the guardian of Borneo. So we got to take care of it. We got to step forward. So that's why itu binatang yang terpupus, yang bunga-bunga, yang tumbuh-tumbuhan di hutan, the sungai, the mountain, the leeches, we got to take care of them all. We are the one, we are the custodian. So that's why I'll be engaging with the IUCN in these 2 days. And I want to volunteer myself to represent the indigenous people di IUCN. Kalau itu diterima, to protect our endangered species in Borneo. So next, the legato. So okay, the Kamatan benefits to the community. We know what are those, but then the Kamatan, we are the one organizing Kamatan, and then we are the one creating a big event in Sabah. So we do not know how much does it contribute to our tourism industry, but I believe it's very big. And we don't stop here. We promote Borneo, we promote all this Kamatan, but at the same time, we step forward into the global arena and advocate for the preservation of culture and then sustaining our development in the face of the global challenges. Dengan itu, terima kasih kepisunduan kepisenangan nam konsikan adil katalino bacuramin kasaruga basengat kajubata arus.
Thank you, Alan. That's a very inspiring and thought-provoking 15 minutes. I think there's a lot that we can learn from that, and I think we could actually continue the debate if there's time in the Q&A, because it's very interesting. You're very right. It is not just about certain substance, if you like, in terms of rice or even our costumes, but it's deeper than that. as a people, we are a people. We should look at it in much deeper than that, and do something about it, not just having this annual kind of event. Although it's good to keep us and remind us of who we are, it's much deeper than that. And if we can bring that in, we can deepen that understanding, that culture. I have to say, not all my family all speak Kadazan at home. My own family, yes, but other families, they tend to speak in Malay, although they can understand Kadazan, but they can't speak it. Some of my nephews and cousins who are younger, of course, they don't. They understand some of it. And actually, some of them can't speak a word of Kadazan. And I think it's also to do with not culture, but much more in terms of education, how our parents speak to us. And like my son, who's 11, we try to teach him Kadazan as much as we can. And he speaks to his grandma, his mo'ing, in Kadazan every now and then, which is great. So we have to continue that, because otherwise this term, Kadazan, might get diluted and lost. So it's very important that we bear that in mind, because so so we need to try and keep that culture strong, not just alive, but strong, and make it deeper. So that's something that we can go back to in the Q&A. I would now like to go back to Pa Albanus. I think he is ready, and Richard is ready with the slides. So Pa, can we ask you to come back and speak, please? Thank you. Thank you.
Oke, thank you Pak Boy.
Yep.
Waktunya berapa menit nih Pak Boy?
15.
15.
Tapi
Oke.
introduce yourself first, and then selepas itu then go ahead lah. Terima kasih.
Oke. Baik, Adil Katalino, Bacuramin Kasarga, Basengat Kak Jubata.
Harus.
Baik, dalam kesempatan waktu yang sangat terbatas ini, saya langsung ke materi terkait dengan naik dango, Pak ya. Naik dango. Sedikit informasi sekarang di Kalimantan Barat. Di Kalimantan Barat sekarang ini sedang di 14 kabupaten sedang menjadwalkan kegiatan naik dango. Jadi termasuk di kabupaten tempat saya berdomisili sekarang tanggal 25 nanti akan juga acara naik dango. Jadi itu informasi. Di Kota Pontianak, ibu kota provinsi Kalimantan Barat juga sekarang sedang berlangsung naik dango. Jadi di 14 kabupaten kota termasuk di kota provinsi Kalimantan Barat sekarang ini saat ini suasananya adalah sangat ramai, Pak. Ya, turis sangat ramai berdatangan di Kalimantan Barat. Demikian informasinya. Baik, langsung next Pak Richard terkait dengan sejarah naik dango. Bisa Pak Richard ditampilkan di slide kedua? Oke, sejarah naik dango. Sejarah naik dango ini pertama itu Bapak Ibu, upacara naik dango. Sejarah naik dango ini biasanya di kalangan masyarakat. Kebetulan saya perlu sampaikan juga Pak, naik dango ini sekarang di Kalimantan Barat seluruh suku-suku Dayak yang ada di Kalimantan sekarang menamai acara ini naik dango. Nah kebetulan saya hari ini mengangkat naik dango perspektif Dayak Kanayat. Karena saya Dayak Salako maka masuk dari suku Dayak Kanayat, maka saya perspektif Dayak Kanayat terkait naik dango. Nah, naik dango ini Bapak Ibu biasanya di sini namanya adalah upacara naik dango yang merupakan sebuah upacara untuk mengaturkan rasa syukur kepada Jubata, Tuhan yang Maha Kuasa, atas rasa terhadap panen yang berlimpah gitu ya. Karena saat kita buka ladang tadi Pak Alan menyampaikan juga terkait dengan bercocok tanam padi gitu ya. Kalau di sini kita sama persis gitu ya. Di sini ada 2 jenis berladang itu, dataran rendah dan dataran tinggi. Dataran tinggi itu ya ladang gitu ya. Dataran rendah itu sawah gitu ya. Payak di sini kalau namanya bahasa lokalnya. Jadi naik dango ini adalah upacara atau prosesi rasa syukur kepada Tuhan Yang Maha Kuasa atau jubata namanya. Jadi itu salah satu asal usul kenapa ada naik dango gitu di Kalimantan. Nah, selain itu Bapak Ibu, naik dango ini juga seketika karena dianggap penting, rasa syukur ini dilakukan, maka naik dango ini menjadi acara tahunan Bapak Ibu. Karena proses cocok tanam di kita gitu ya, lokal wisdom kita dalam 1 tahun sekali itu kita melaksanakan naik dango, maka untuk banyak hal, untuk yang pertama untuk menghemat biaya, kedua agar ada keseragaman gitu ya, asal ada keseragaman, kebersamaan antar suku-suku Dayak yang ada di Kalimantan, maka naik dango ini 1 tahun sekali gitu ya. Dan kita sesuai dengan konteks wilayahnya, dan naik dango yang paling besar itu adalah di kota provinsi, terutama di kota Pontianak. Itu udah kita seluruh kabupaten kota kita kumpul di situ bersama-sama, seluruh suku Dayak yang ada di Kalimantan kita bersama-sama mulai dari proses persiapannya hingga pelaksanaannya. Nah itu salah satunya. Nah, naik dango juga atau gawai Dayak namanya di Kalimantan ini Bapak Ibu, ini merupakan upacara adat masyarakat Kalimantan atau Dayak Kanayat. Ini bukan lagi menjadi tadi istilahnya kita hanya sebatas untuk bersyukur, tetapi ada kontekstualnya dalam menjaga kelestarian. Ini lebih ke pengembangan gitu ya, pelestarian gitu ya, pelestarian adat dan budaya gitu. Sekaligus untuk mempromosikannya kepada seluruh masyarakat yang ada di Kalimantan dan umumnya di Indonesia dan lebih besar lagi di mata dunia gitu ya. Karena naik dango ini banyak hal yang dilakukan, nanti selanjutnya akan saya sampaikan. Nah itu terkait dengan asal usul naik dango gitu ya Bapak Ibu. Nah pelaksanaan upacara naik dango Bapak Ibu. Pelaksanaan upacaranya ini salah satu ada hal-hal yang memang harus dipersiapkan gitu ya, karena naik dango ini bukan hanya sekedar kita lihat tadi hanya lomba-lomba gitu ya, ada tarian lomba musik, busana dan sebagainya gitu, tetapi ada sakral, ada upacara yang paling sakral gitu ya sebelum pelaksanaan naik dango itu. Di sini biasanya menamainya itu adalah ampar bide Bapak Ibu ya. Ampar bide inilah kita menyampaikan atau nyangahat bahasa lokalnya gitu ya, nyangahat atau membaca doa gitu ya, membaca doa, menyampaikannya ke jubata atau Tuhan Yang Maha Kuasa. Maksud dan tujuan dari naik dango itu sendiri, maka naik dango ini adalah sebelum pelaksanaan seremonialnya adalah ada upacara yang namanya sakral, yang paling sakral, yaitu ampar bide. Ampar bide banyak hal yang memang harus dipersiapkan, mulai dari adatnya gitu ya, hitungan adatnya juga dipersiapkan. Banyak hal yang memang harus dikoordinasikan dengan baik seluruh panitia dan tetua-tetua Dayak dalam persiapan naik dango itu sendiri. Nah itu terkait dengan sejarah naik dango, asal usul dan kenapa naik dango itu menjadi hal yang penting sampai hari ini di Kalimantan Barat. Itu dulu naik dango tidak semeriah sekarang Bapak Ibu gitu ya. Kalau sekarang ini udah bagus-bagus gitu ya, busananya juga bagus, udah bajunya udah mengikuti kekinian gitu ya, mengikuti desain dan sebagainya gitu. Tapi kalau dulu tidak terpikirkan gitu ya terkait dengan untuk elaborasi busana dan sebagainya. Tapi zaman nenek moyang kami dulu, naik dango ini adalah salah satu wujud syukur yang sakral yang perlu kita sampaikan. Mereka tidak banyak mimpi-mimpi dulu, mereka hanya pure bagaimana mereka bisa mempertahankan adat budayanya dan hubungannya dengan Tuhan atau jubata gitu ya. Nah, itu sebenarnya yang paling menarik terkait dengan upacara naik dango ini. Naik dango itu di mana sih kegiatannya gitu Bapak Ibu ya? Mungkin Bapak Ibu di sini audien yang sudah pernah mengikuti upacara naik dango gitu ya. Saya tidak sedetail menyampaikan Bapak Ibu ya karena kita keterbatasan waktu, tapi nanti untuk pertanyaannya silakan nanti disampaikan, kita akan jawab. Tapi ini gambaran-gambarannya.
Sebentar
Di
Pak
mana sih?
Albinus,
Ya.
sebentar ya. Richard, can you keep clicking on the next slides? Also, you cross the axis, the two axes on top, cross them, and then keep moving, keep clicking on the next slide. Thanks. We are stuck on page 1. Sebentar ya, Albinus.
Oke.
Sorry. Ya, ya. And just
Oke.
click those.
Oke. Rumah radang. Oke, di sini. Baik, lanjut ya Bapak Ibu. Baik, tadi asal-usul dan upacara naik dango sudah saya sampaikan, maka kebiasaan masyarakat Dayak di Kalimantan untuk melaksanakan upacara naik dango, kita ada namanya rumah panjang Bapak Ibu, atau rumah radak gitu ya. Jadi bermacam-macam penyebutan di Kalimantan, ada rumah radak, panjai, panjang, ramin, dan bantang. Itu kontekstual lokal wisdom masyarakat subsuku yang ada di Kalimantan. Ini ada sedikit saya sampilkan dokumentasi terkait dengan rumah radang kita di Kalimantan Barat, di kota Pontianak. Nah, rumah radang ini Bapak Ibu disebut juga rumah adat suku Dayak Kanayat biasanya gitu ya. Ini karena saya ngambil perspektif suku Dayak Kanayat yang terbesar ada di Indonesia nih ya. Ini dulu udah diakui oleh museum kita gitu ya. Ini disebut rumah adat terbesar karena bangunannya memiliki panjang 138 meter Bapak Ibu dan lebarnya itu 30 meter dan tinggi 7 meter Bapak Ibu. Nah, karena bentuknya yang memanjang, rumah radak ini juga bisa dijuluki rumah panjang. Saking besarnya bangunan rumah ini mampu menampung sekitar 600 orang Bapak Ibu. Nah, sekarang pelaksanaan gawai naik dango di Kota Pontianak kebetulan di sini pelaksanaan Bapak Ibu, ya. Oke, lanjut. Nah, rumah radang ini juga Bapak Ibu menjadi miniatur rumah yang di Perkampungan Budaya Jalan Sultan Syahril. Ini alamatnya di Sultan Syahril di Kota Pontianak. Sehingga ini menjadi salah satu ikon yang ada di Kalimantan Barat di Kota Pontianak dan salah satu tujuan wisata Bapak Ibu. Para turis baik dalam negeri, lokal dan luar negeri sekarang saat mereka berwisata, mereka ini menjadi salah satu target wisata mereka gitu ya, karena memiliki daya tarik tersendiri Bapak Ibu. Nah, rumah radak ini juga Bapak Ibu memiliki ciri-ciri, bisa Bapak Ibu lihat sendiri ya ciri-cirinya. Kebetulan situ ada dokumentasinya saya tampilkan. Jadi memiliki ciri-ciri dia memiliki kolong atau pondasi rumah yang tinggi Bapak Ibu, itu bisa dilihat di situ. Untuk ini dulu tujuannya kenapa dia memiliki kolong yang tinggi ini dulu zaman nenek moyang dulu untuk berlindung Bapak Ibu ya dari binatang-binatang buas, karena dulu nenek moyang dulu mereka tidak membangun rumah radang ini di kota gitu ya, belum ada kota, tapi di perkampungan-perkampungan yang di mana di perkampungan itu masih banyak sekali gitu ya, babi hutan dan sebagainya gitu, atau binatang-binatang yang dianggap buas gitu ya, atau mengancam manusia gitu ya. Nah itu. Nah selain itu rumah Ini juga memiliki pilar di bagian atas rumah berjumlah 6 Bapak Ibu ya, dan sebagainya. Nanti silakan bisa Bapak Ibu lihat di slide. Yang jelas memiliki pilar, terus ada patung burung enggang gading. Bagi masyarakat Dayak, burung enggang gading ini memiliki arti sebagai kekuatan dan kegagahan Bapak Ibu. Kenapa harus ada burung enggang ini? Tapi itu tadi memiliki makna sebagai lambang kegagahan gitu ya. Nah, jika kita perhatikan Bapak Ibu, di bagian depan rumah radang ini mengarah ke matahari terbit, sedangkan bagian belakangnya menghadap ke arah matahari terbenam. Hal ini melambangkan kerja keras dalam mengarungi kehidupan, mulai dari hari matahari terbit hingga terbenam. Itu maknanya gitu ya, atau filosofinya yang mau disampaikan. Nah, naik dango itu sendiri Bapak Ibu, memang ada puncak yang mau dicapai gitu ya, terkait naik dango. Salah satunya lomba naik dango. Ada perlombaan-perlombaan yang dikemas dari kegiatan puncak naik dango itu. Salah satunya itu lomba menyumpit, Pancasilat, menumbuk padi Bapak Ibu, lomba tato, lagu daerah, busana, dan bujang atau darah gawai. Nah, ini lomba-lomba yang sering dilaksanakan saat upacara naik dango di seluruh kabupaten kota, termasuk puncaknya di kota Pontianak. Lomba-lomba ini biasanya menjadi salah satu primadona yang menjadi kewajiban dan selalu ada gitu ya, ditampilkan saat naik dango. Nah, itu ini bisa Bapak Ibu lihat dokumentasi atau gambar yang saya telah sediakan Bapak Ibu. Ini dokumentasinya Bapak Ibu, ada lomba sumpit ya, lomba tato bisa dilihat, lomba bujang gawai Dayak, terus di sebelah kiri itu lomba busana cilik ya, anak-anak. Terus di sini ada finalis atau peserta darah gawai Dayak. Nah, itu Bapak Ibu untuk materi terkait naik dango. Untuk lebih detailnya nanti silakan kita sharing terkait dengan, bisa ditanya lebih dalam lagi terkait dengan naik dango. Demikian Bapak Ibu, terima kasih.
Terima kasih Pak Abel. Very, very good. Very, very interesting. And for me, memang eye-opener because it's so much in there, so much culture. But if you look at from the point of view of a Borneo island, here we are. There's a lot of connections and similarities in many ways on what is happening on our big island. So it's something that we could come together with, learn from each other. I think if kalau ada peluang, we should go to Kalimantan and look at these areas. I mean, Ken has been there, and I know he came back with such wonderful ideas and lots of sharing between us as a Borneo Forum team. Now we can share that at some point, possibly we should go to Indonesia, to Kalimantan especially, and learn a lot more from what is happening there and share. So terima kasih Pak Abel, very, very interesting, and I would love to go to Kalimantan one day. I have some friends there as well, and thank you so much for your time. Terima kasih. I will come back again to
Richard and Boyd. Saya ada satu soalan untuk Ayu. Bisa saya boleh bertanya? Ayu, saya ada soalan. Satu ialah, apa bisa boleh dapatkan sape ini, instrumen ini, untuk dihantar ke seluruh pelosok dunia? Sekiranya ada Sabah ataupun orang Borneo yang mau order. Dan what is the, soalan dua, what is the average price? Ketiga, apakah bisa Ayu boleh buat online instruction, musical lesson untuk kita semua di seluruh dunia?
Pak Alan, nanti kita bagi soalan itu kepada Ayu. Dia ada satu event lagi yang dia perlu pergi. So
Okay.
Ayu sudah
Sudah
jalan.
keluar. Oke.
Sudah keluar, ya.
Oke. Tidak apa, thank you. Ini soalan sudah bermain di kepala saya sudah 2 tahun sudah. Oke, terima kasih.
Okay, thank you, Tabina Alan. That actually the questions are very, very good. It's something that we need to, if possible, we can discuss it a little bit later on, because this is part of the whole idea imbued of the culture that we have. Because it's not only music, but you think about like what I mentioned just now. It's evocative, very haunting, soothing, of course, but at the same time, it makes you think of lots of things. Could be the jungle. I'm thinking about a Peruvian condor soaring in the sky, all that kind of the different things that images come to mind. So I think if you relate the image of the song or the music and you write poetry, let's say, or stories, then you know where I'm coming from. There's so much that we can do something like that. And of course, we can then share it to the world. I think it's a great idea. And I think all the instruments, I just want to tell you a short aside to this, because my father-in-law comes from Keningau. And then my wife is from Keningau. But the thing is, my dad-in-law is one of the first people, if you like, who had a bamboo band. They do rock music, all sorts of things. And the way he puts these things and the songs they put together and the words are very evocative, very similar. And I think it's something, it's one part of the Kadazan Dusun, if you like, that's disappearing, mainly because we don't continue with so much. We talk about it, but we don't really go into deeply about the music, how it was done and put together. He wrote a book on it, by the way, and it's in a collection somewhere in America. And how wonderful is that? This is something that I agree with Alan that we talked about previously, where it should be part and parcel of all our discussions and conversations about our culture. It's to do with the people, it's to do with the music, poetry, songs, all of them are very, very important and very necessary for us to remember. So thank you, Alan, for that. And keep that in mind, everyone. If we got time later on, we'll discuss a bit more on that. I'll bring back that to you, everyone. Now, I think Pam has been waiting for quite some time. Pam, if you're ready, I'd like you to come and speak next, please. And we'll try and get Lawrence after that, although he hasn't come back yet so far. But Dr. Pam, are you ready? Thank you.
Yes. See.
Are your slides okay?
Yes. Let me just pull it out. Let's see over here. Share screen.
Are you co-host?
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Yep.
So, okay. All right, perfect. Okay, my name is Dr. Pamela Purser, and sorry, I'm gonna be like a little bit slow over here. It's like late at night over here, 2 o'clock. So I'm gonna be like, have to focus hard over here. But anyway,
thank you.
So, okay, my name is Dr. Pamela, and I'm originally from Keningau, Sabah, and then I'm currently residing in Navarre, Florida. So I'm an acupuncturist and a traditional Chinese medicine herbalist, and I dedicated my life to blend
the ancient wisdom of healing with modern medicine. So so let's next. So the North Borneo Abroad Kamatan event started in 2021 during the challenging time of COVID-19. So I took the initiative to lead a small group of people. It's basically like 5 groups of couples. And then we basically like transform a simple backyard gathering in Crestview, Florida, into an annual cultural pilgrimage, meaning we move from one place to another place. So the first one was in Crestview, Florida, and then the second year in 2022, it was in San Antonio, Texas, and then in 2023, it was in Destin, Florida, and recently we held it over at Bellevue, Arkansas, and Richard was there. Richard was Richard was there and helping out, and we celebrated the event together. And okay, so the reason I see the importance of nurturing the alignment of physical body, mind, and soul. So I might bring different ideas from the previous speaker because of my background, but the rationale of my idea doing this Kamatan event is basically trying to find the alignment for the body, mind, and spirit. And then I see a unity, the words of unity, which is the most important thing during the COVID-19 because of the isolation. It's like everybody basically like being isolated, and then it's scattered. And then I was trying to bring this the energy, togetherness, the unity, and with that what is that? Where is it? And then with that, the alignment that I was trying to explain is basically like finding the unity within the community. So this year Kamatan event was held in Bellevue, Arkansas, and it was hosted by Flora Jean and Bill Norman. And the event was always we plan the event like 1 year ahead. Normally we announce the next host during the Kamatan event. So the next Kamatan event gonna be in Auburn, Florida. So if you guys are in town, you wanna join us for next year, it's gonna be in June 14, I believe, but we're gonna confirm again with the host. But anyway,
Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah, Auburn, Alabama. What did I say? Did I say something else?
Florida.
Yeah, Auburn, Alabama. Yeah, Florida, sorry. Yeah. So this event is not just like one person event. So this is a collective event. Everybody is putting in their effort to make this event basically like a collective one. So and based on the previous event, this year's event was the milestones for the past 3 events. So I will explain more in the next slide. So this is basically the group of people that attended the event. So most of them over here is basically all the females. They are native Sabahan, and then with their spouses. This is the day before the event. So everybody basically pitch in, helping out, organize the tent and everything, cooking, cleaning, you name it. So everybody basically like they said, sendiri mandur and sendiri kulit, meaning everybody has to pitch in to make this event like really successful. Okay, and moving forward, and we are blessed with this rare sight of the night before the event. This is a northern light. So I basically just put it over here because I think it's a blessing from from the universe. And that's the reason why we have a successful event the next day. So yeah. And then this is our, let me check again. Okay. Hold on. Something is not working. So basically, this is our motto, basically roots of prosperity and peaks of unity. So we work on the root of the problem in order for us to unite. So based on my observation for the past 4 years, right, most people that hasn't been able to go back, right, we have to focus more on the fundamental level. Basically, like, you know, most people, even though they're here, they not feel home. So it's interesting to see, not us like being abroad, basically home is far away from home, but for the locals that said that they are home but they not feel home, right? It's basically like something like very intriguing. Why they not feel at home? And then we identify the root of the problem is basically there is no real foundation of like being home, being a family. So that's the reason why we create this motto. So root of prosperity is basically like you have to have the foundation of family in order to like sustain the unity of the community. So that's part of the medicine as well, part of aligning the body's mind and spirit. And then we were privileged enough to have a special guest, Mayor Stephen Baxter. He is the mayor of Belleville, Arkansas, and he came to officiate the event with his assistant, who is the head of the library. So they basically like trying to like collect data and basically share with the community. So this one is the host, both of them, Flora, Jean, and Bill Norman. And this one was the mayor, and this is Stacy, his assistant. And then the cultural highlights. So we did traditional performance. So Mrs. Connie Carlson, I think she's from Pinampang, but she lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. But she's teaching the mayor on how to do the Magunatic dance. And she's a really great dance teacher. And as you can see, everybody kind of like intrigued and participated. And then this is the Sabahan participants that been helping along the way with the events, with traditional cooking. I think we have hinava over here. We have the rendang. We even have hinom puka. We even have the lihing. Somebody made some lihing, the rice wine. And then it's basically like for the locals, this is kind of like really new for them, and they really enjoy it very much. So this is part of the traditional dishes as well. And then over here, this is the traditional tarik tali. There is a words in Kadazan which I don't recall right now. So basically the locals had fun because they never had one before. So this is Miss Connie. She's awesome. She basically like make the event like real. Make the games like really interesting to participate. So this is us basically just parading our costume, and the locals loves it. They said they complimented us with the traditional costumes. So over here we came from different countries, so logistically it's kind of like challenging because United States is very spread out. So Janet's over here came all the way from San Antonio, Texas. She was the second host for the Kamatan event. This is Mary out of Houston. So Connie from North Carolina. This is Roseanne from Ocala, Florida. Dora from California. She's the host. Flora, Jean, Norman. And this is going to be the next host for next year. Egio from Auburn, Alabama. And we have Cintori from Crestview, Alabama, and myself. And this is basically the man. We can see Richard over here. And then this is all the spouses over here. And then because the Mother's Day was on the 12th and we had our celebration on the 11th, so we decided to celebrate Mother's Day as well during that day. So, which I think it's most relevant because the role of Huminodun is basically like a mom. So even though she's, well, based on the legend, right, she sacrificed herself for the survivability of her people. So I think that's the similar role for a mom to her children. And moving forward, so we were honored for the first time, which somebody make a comment. Even the native in the USA struggled to get notice, right? But we did we basically like the mayor of Belleville, Mayor Stephen Baxter, so basically gave us a proclamation of the city that he proclaimed that every year on May 11th as the North Borneo Indigenous People Special Day. So this is huge milestone, especially for North Borneo people, especially the Sabahan people. So this is the letter of the proclamation. If you can read, Proclamation City of Belleville, whereas the City of Belleville does heraldly proclaim May 11, 2024 as North Borneo Indigenous People Sabah East Malaysia Day. So whereas the City of Bellevue is proud to have the North Borneo Indigenous people in our community. And whereas on behalf of the City of Belleville, I would like to extend my congratulations on this day being declared North Borneo Indigenous People Day. So I think I cried when he presented this one because we worked so hard, but we didn't expect that, you know, we're gonna get this on this year. So basically, this is basically like a milestone for us. This is gonna take us to different level. But anyway, this for our future goals is basically we're gonna, you know, work towards more sustainable gathering. What I mean sustainable gathering, probably I echoed back to, I'm not sure, Boyd or Ken, about, you know, the entrepreneurship. So it probably finding more sustainable financial sources in order to like do this type of thing, because it's basically, you know, costs a lot of expenses since we're like very scattered. So we have to find a sustainable way to maintain this activity in this in the state. And this is the group of people that came for the event. So we have a mix of people over here. And this guy is very shy. I just want to, you know, let everybody know this. But basically, these two couples over here contributed the bamboo for the event. So remember the Bangu Native dance, and then also Flo and Jeans basically have this place decorated with all this bamboo decoration. But these people basically planted the bamboo at their house and they basically donated. So it's a community work. No, it's not just for the Sabahan, but it's the local as well. So they contributed food, men work, and also like electrical works and everything. So I think it probably is not a huge thing like being in the international stage, but being in a small community in Arkansas, especially in Belleville, this type of event brings so much meaning, especially for the farmers. And I think that's it for the closing. So I'm like very grateful for the opportunity to lead these groups, to organize, and then I have undivided support from the Sabahan people over here that supported me, the sponsors, the volunteers, and the attendees. So the way that I look at it, to be a good leader, you not just like tell people what to do. It's basically like a tree. If you have a good foundation, everybody gonna follow you. So you have to lead with the heart instead of just like leading with your brain. So with that said, thank you so much and have a great Kaumatan event.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. That's quite prideful to know about getting the recognition in the US. I think that's a wonderful thing to have, and hopefully, maybe in the future there'll be more like that as well. So I think the question of finance, of course, it's always going to be like that, because when I was leading the one in the UK, Sabah UK Association, it's basically a student team, I guess. But for that one, our money came from from sponsors, from people who are
Yes.
philanthropists and others. So it's wonderful to be able to do that. It's not big, but when you put it together, when you put all the
Yes.
money together, we're able to hold the event every year during Kamatan. Sometimes we could
Yes.
even hold two. One time we were holding one in London and the other one in Aberdeen. So it was really great that we can get together and bring. The other thing that we did in the UK at that time was whenever a group of from Sabah Tourism, when they were to promote tourism in Earl's Court, London, we go with them, and then we go with them to other parts of the UK where they do the dances and take part, and everybody has a role to play. So that's how we work together as a community first, and then I guess second is Sabahans working together. Okay, the next speaker has been waiting patiently. Rohana, if you're ready, I'll come back to you shortly. But it's wonderful. We are coming from Sabah, then we go to other places, to Kalimantan, to the US, and then we go to New Zealand. Now we go to Australia. So, Rohana, when you're ready, thank you.
Thank you, Boyd. Can you all hear me okay? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for confirming that. So first of all, may I just say that it is an absolute honor to be able to present alongside all of you very distinguished speakers. So now a little bit about me. My name is Rohana Ramli. And true to my Sabahan roots, I'll be speaking a mix of English and Malay. My Kadazan is not that great. There'll be another forum for that, I guess. So a bit about me. I am from Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, but I am now residing in Perth, Australia. I'm an electrical engineer by trade, but now I am working for the Fortescue Metals Group as a reliability engineer. So I oversee the health of the whole iron ore plant. So I got married in 2022, and I am the immediate past president of the Sabah Indigenous Society of Western Australia, or SISWA in short. So I will be, it's actually a bit nerve-wracking. So I know that we discuss a whole global issue with regards to our culture and the challenges that we're facing. So I'm just going to shift the focus to a smaller area, which is Perth, Australia. And actually, what we did in 2021 is pretty similar to what you guys did, Dr. Pamela. We've got Magunatip, we've got Lihing, etc. What we don't have is a proclamation of Indigenous North Borneo Day. So that made me really jealous. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, so can you view my audience window?
Yes.
Okay, I hope it's not the presenter view, otherwise it will be really embarrassing. Okay. So this is us. Back in 2021 and 2022, actually, the Siswa, we were 7 people strong. We organized the first ever Siswa organized Tadao Keamatan in Perth. So I was requested yesterday to elaborate on the behind the scenes of this event rather than what actually happened on that very day. Okay, so my animation did not work, that's fine. So these, I have condensed the aspects of this organizing into four. So first of all, we've got ideas. For your information, Keamatan Perth 2021 was incepted by 3 friends, all hailing from Kota Kinabalu, but are now working professionals in Perth, Australia. So what kicked off this whole event was us being deprived, being homesick, and deprived of enjoying the Keamatan festivities due to the pandemic. So first, what we did was we brainstormed. We did a brainstorm. How are we gonna get more people? 3 people is not enough to organize the whole event. So we did a bit of brainstorming, and the first thing that we did, so contrary to what Boyd mentioned earlier, we don't, us 3 friends, we don't really have an extensive network of Sabahans in Perth. So we were almost alone. We knew 1 or 2 people, that's all. But so what we did was we reached out to friends and families from back in Kota Kinabalu. I reached out to Zanditida Ramajoana Kitingan herself to ask for her advice. Who are the people over here who organized the Keamatan a few years back, who can help us because we are clueless. We also posted on our own social media platform on this small catch-up on organizing a Keamatan. So from there, we got another 4 new members, or 3 or 4 new members. So we decided 7 people would be enough to kick off the whole thing. The next thing is funding. That is pretty much the biggest challenge that we had. So the first few months of the behind the scenes, we actually forked out our own savings. That was not great, and we even paid for our own tickets just so we can break even. But we were very fortunate. I'm just gonna take you back to the first slide. This gentleman that is second from the left, Henry Chin, he's got great contacts, great social network, and he is the current president of Siswa. So he managed to get our plea for help across to the right people. So which actually helped us get a very generous sponsorship from Sabah Parks. We've also got quite a number from individual personnel and also Majestic Sabahan. We also reached out to the consulate, so they helped us with materials instead of monetary. So they let us borrow the magunatip, the bamboos, as well as costumes. And again, Henry managed to get all his peers, business people, friends, to sponsor lucky draw prizes in exchange for advertising during the day itself. So that's on funding, very imperative that you have enough. And number 4 is marketing. Again, we don't know enough people, so we created some Facebook platforms, social media platforms to advertise. We also got our sponsors, the F&B outlets, to distribute flyers on the event. So we know that that's where Sabahans and Malaysians go, so that's like a great place to distribute those flyers. We also actually organized a radio podcast session with the Western Australia's global chat radio. But funnily enough, the tickets were sold out 2 weeks before we actually got to do the podcast. So that's the power of viral networking. So that was great. Let me see, what else did I mention? Okay, so that's on the 4 main aspects of organizing the events. And this is the outcome of the event. We got really positive reviews from the guests. We got a lot of encouragement, a lot of actually requests to please organize this again next year. Our live stream reached 213,000 viewers as of June 2021. I'm not sure how it must have grown more higher than that. And the greatest thing was we gained more members, so we became over 20 people strong. Not a lot, but still helps a lot. And we gained heaps of new social media following. Okay. These are our sponsors. So Sabah Parks is the biggest because they were the main sponsor. We've also got KDCA and Sabah VFM who compiled Kaamatan messages for the people in Perth. Very, very heartfelt, and we've even got Eve actually put together a very good compilation. So she even managed to get Evaristus Gungkit, which is one of my mom's favorite singers, to actually send a message across to the attendees. You can also see over here, we've got Global Chat Radio, the Mujar Consultancy, who was supposed to do a welcome to country for us. And these are the individuals who donated, like in terms of money and also manpower to the event, to see to the success of the event. Okay, so this is our program and also menu. Hang on, I'm just going to zoom this in a little bit. I'm not gonna touch a lot on the program because you'll see it in the photos itself later. But these are the souvenirs that we managed to bring in from Kota Kinabalu. So one of the committee members managed to get permission to fly home and back to Perth and basically tapao all these items. And we've also managed to get sarungs to line up the tables. And I find it important to show everyone the menu because I'm very proud of the Hinapa Bambangan and Tuhau that we managed to actually serve to the guests. We also have lihing that we brew ourselves. It was a last-minute learning session. We probably brewed this 3 months before the event, and we are very sure that it's safe to be drank. We have a friend who is studying medicine, so yep, we're okay. And we also actually organize lihing making classes and also pinasakan. That's one of the ways we raise funding for this event. Okay, so this is how it looked like. So there's plus minus 120 people in attendance that day. The demographics were probably 90% Sabahan and 10 to 15% Perth locals. We actually also have people asking if they could stand outside because the tickets were sold out way too early than expected. And we could not add more table because there's a limit of how much this hall can accommodate, and it was already too late to change to a bigger hall. As you can see, we try to bring a very Sabah Kaamatan ambience to the room. We've got the rambai, we've got the tables lined with sarong, and almost everyone donned Sabah Kedia Bar outfits. So that was really awesome. That is me. I'm actually wearing the same outfit today. This is weird. I'm sure you've never seen anything like this. So my mom's Pinampang, my dad is Papar, hence the combination of top Pinampang, bottom Papar. And over here to my right is Zandi Edwina Otigil. So she was our guest of honor. She is responsible for almost single-handedly organizing the Kamatans from the previous years. So we thought, as much as we would like to get the general consulate or probably the mayor to be the guest of honors, we decided that it is best to award this to give this honor to someone who's actually contributed to the community, to the Sabahan community itself. And she is our good friend today. This is us doing our first performance, an acoustic version of and a slowed down version of Kasakazan do Bambazon. It was a very special moment. I think despite the lack of singing capabilities, I think we managed to capture the audience's attention. Like I mentioned yesterday, I think I saw a few people teared up after we finished singing. So that was a special moment for us. The next slide is on the food. Nothing much to see here after what Dr. Pam has shown. It's just Malaysian cuisine. And there's also lihing over here. Okay, the next slide, I purposely put together the age demography of everyone in attendance. We've got children, we have youths, we have adults, and the elderly attending. And it is great because we are helping the elderly reminisce the good old days. We're helping the youth and adults to reconnect to their roots, and we are helping them to help their kids introduce them to their culture, to their roots. And I'm telling you, most, if not all of these kids have never been in Sabah before, or they may have, but have no memory of home. So that is something that is personally fulfilling for the committee members. This was what we did on that day. So Magunatip was the main attraction, naturally. So this went over because everyone wanted to try doing the Magunatip. And we've got kids as well, excited to try. This is Eve, which is Audrey's niece. So she performed a very graceful, a very beautiful Bungai Terung number for us. And to fill in the gaps between programs, right, we held karaoke sessions or Sugandoy. So that gap gets filled up really fast. So that happens when you have Sabahans in the house. Okay, the next slide is just some of the other activities that we did. We had heaps of lucky draw. So these were from the sponsors, naturally. The lady you see over here is the winner of Sugandoy. Her gift, I think, her prize was a massage gun, a very good one. So good on her. This is Florentina Bajalang, a good friend of ours, and she was also our Magunatip teacher. This is a representative from the Malaysian consulate. And that's one of the lucky draw winners. We've got photo booth as well. So this is sponsored, didn't have to pay anything for it. And this gentleman over here is the winner of Best Dress. He was donning labuk, sandakan labuk, a traditional outfit. Okay, my final slide. This is us initiating a Damdan Magaval. Of course, we cannot do that in Perth. We don't have the right people. But everyone joined in. It was absolutely phenomenal. People who couldn't dance just raised their hands and tried to imitate what we did. And I am really sorry, Ellen, but guilty as charged, we did have to do pocho pocho because then again, the idea is gathering. Not everyone knew how to do a sumazao, but at least from this Magava, we managed to introduce them how it needs to be done. Okay, so let me see what else. Oh yeah, I just want to mention that organizing this, I'm pretty sure everyone, this is not the best of Kamatan overseas. I know for sure that there are better organized ones globally. We do have some shortcomings ourselves, but I do hope that you learn a thing or two and enjoy the photos at least. So with that, I end my presentation, and I'm very happy that I did this in less than 15. All right, thank you.
Well, thank you, Rohana.
Cheers.
Very good. It's very entertaining, if you like. We've got family there, but by the sound of it, you mentioned a Majalang, which is from my mom's side, I think. So I think she's probably my niece.
You think?
So
but
my niece,
that's understandable, because on that day we got people, hey, I know your surname, I think we are related. We get a lot of that. So it's also great. We're reconnecting people to not only to their roots, but to each other, to their relatives. So yeah, that's great.
Very, very, very true. I think one of the things that we always say, and I think our people always do this, which is during, it could be weddings especially, or funerals usually as well, where we reconnect ourselves. And it's good to have that kind of thing, because I think all of us are probably related in some way or another through the so many different generations, which is good, so that we can build on that for our people to continue in that way. Okay, thank you so much for your sharing so far.
Thank you.
It's good to know what's happening around the world. I think we should continue. I'm sure through Cousin Richard's, we usually have a WhatsApp group put together later on, or continued from previously. So that's where we continue our connection, and then we go on from there. Okay, Dr. Lawrence is ready. He's going to talk about London. Now we move from Australia to the other side of the world, to London, and hear more about the Kalimantan Festival in London. Lawrence, are you ready?
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Boy, can you hear me? Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, okay. My video is not appearing. I'm not sure why. Okay, I just carry on. I think we just carry on. The video is not appearing.
Try again. I just made you co-host.
What is it?
Try one more time. You were not a co-host just now. I just made you co-host.
Okay. It's still not there. I don't know what to press. It's okay. I think we just carry on. It's okay?
Okay.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much. I was quite confused today. I thought it was early morning, 5 o'clock today. I got up 5 o'clock. So first of all, thank you very much for inviting me for this forum. First of all, I introduce my name. My name is Lawrence. I'm based in UK. As I heard just now, two of them speaking. The biggest challenge everybody facing is financial. I have more other challenges I face, not only financial. For your information, I'm not from Sabah or Sarawak. I'm a Perakian. My wife is a Sarawakian. So I have another challenge, which I'm a non-Borneo people, to make this event happen. So how to adapt to Sabah and Sarawak to get this event on, especially in UK. And another challenge is where this is the only event in UK and also in Kuala Lumpur where we combine Sabah and Sarawak. There's no any other event. Most of the event, when you see Sabah, they do themselves, Sarawak, they do themselves. So how I started this in 15 years ago. If you see in KL, we have Borneo Street KL. Okay, Borneo Street KL, I started a platform for Sabah Sarawak to do business. So that's where I started this event. We are self-sustainable, nothing, not supported by government. I approached both Sabah Sarawak government, but not easy to get funds. As you know, it's any other government in the world, all over the world is the same problem. Government funds is always tough to get. Even you get a government funds maybe for 1 year. The following year, you need to sustain yourself. But I'm blessed and lucky that the malls in Kuala Lumpur, most of it give us a free place to do event. So including Surya KLCC, which they spend about maybe 200,000 ringgit to let us to do a Borneo event. So I started it with a beauty pageant. As you know, Sabah Sarawak is very famous for their beauty pageant. So we started that organizing a beauty pageant in KL first. So we get the finalists from Sabah and Sarawak, and they come for the finals in Kuala Lumpur. Then following from that, after about 9 years ago, I started a showcase organizing in London. So we started small because of fundings. With the help of Sabah Sarawakians. So we started with showcase, just a showcase about 2-3 years. Then after that, about 4 years ago, I started the finals in London, where the winners of Sabah Sarawak, we bring them to London, and we do the finals in London. But we don't address it based on Sabah Sarawak, and Sabah, they have their own identity. Sarawak, they have their identity. We just address them as Miss Ambassador, Mr. Ambassador, because we don't want to follow the same thing. Like Sabah Sarawak is not fair. Let the other states they do. So we had our own one. In UK, we have also another group here, Sabahan Abroad. They organize the Kamatan every year. They are very active. In fact, they are very much more, maybe past 15 years, they are very active. They just organize a gathering for Sabahans. So when I moved here only 5 years ago, but previously I go in and out about 8 years. Then I say, why not I bring the KL concept here, combined of Sabah Sarawak, because I'm looking as a Borneo. So that's how I moved it. And then last year, the finalists, so costing is always the biggest challenge. So what I do it like a commercial way. Try to sustain the event through the business way. So in KL, what we do, during the Borneo festival, when we organize the festival, we have about 20, 25, 30 vendors will be selling. 2 weeks ago, we had in Sunway Putra. You'll be surprised, the vendors, they pay a minimum cost for the boat rental, and they do business. So from the minimum cost, we collect the money for our management and all that. From that money, we use for the Borneo Festival in London. So that's how we sustain the event. Sales, whatever sales in from the vendor, 100% goes to the vendor. And sales in Kuala Lumpur is fantastic. The last 3 weeks ago, they had in Sunway Putra, total sales were about 120,000 ringgit. Sales is very good in Kuala Lumpur, especially for product of Sabah Sarawak. But that money we don't touch at all, because that 100% belongs to the vendor. The vendor just pay a minimum cost for the boat, for us to maintain, for us to go up for the event. If not, we can't maintain the event. So like when we do in KLCC, normal commercial fees for 3 days event can go up to 10,000 ringgit. But our vendors only pay about 400 to 500 ringgit. So how we do that? Because we get our space free or at a minimum cost from the mall. We don't go for any malls which charging us commercial values, which we know our vendors can't afford. So we do on a very minimum cost. So we get the money and we roll the money, we save the money, and then we can do the event in London. In London, definitely the cost, because those days, I remember when we started our event in London, the beauty pageant, we bring about 8-9 of them. So each of them, we spend at least about 5,000 ringgit. So just say 8 of them, we need about 40, 50, 60,000 ringgit. So from the collection in Kuala Lumpur, we roll this money here to do the event here. And the event in what we do in KL, for information, 80% of our customers are non-Sabah Sarawakians. Because what I'm looking to develop Sabah Sarawak, we need to break through to look the commercial value, especially our products. Like you were talking about Lihing. Lihing is a big market, one of our fast-moving product in Kuala Lumpur. I know now at least about 10 Sabah Sarawakian brewing Lihing tuak in Kuala Lumpur. All no license, but they're brewing. There's a big market. So we have to look into that direction, not just having the festival and one off and you go off. Will never happen that. So we have the vendors have to look into commercial values, bringing commercial values, especially Sabah Sarawak products. Cake Lapis, another big market. Tuhau is a very, very big market, not for Sabah Sarawakian, for non-Sabah Sarawakians. So that's how we developing Sabah Sarawak products. And then in London, when you come to UK, the regulations is different because we can't bring in food. In fact, that day somebody was speaking to me here. They want to brew rice wine in UK. So not it's not worth bringing from Malaysia. So we can brew rice wine. I know a Sabahan brewing rice wine here, but she's not doing a commercial value. There are opportunities to brew rice wine. Somebody only yesterday contacted me. I was telling them, yeah, this is from Lawas. This is a British guy. He wants to brew rice wine. So I'm helping him to brew the rice wine. I can help them for marketing. So that's how we grow the market. And this year our events, one thing we are very confirmed. We don't change the dates. Usually 1 year ahead or 6 months ahead, our dates are confirmed. Like this year, our event in KL, London is 14 November. It's having in a ship. For this year, we have hiring a big ship in Thames River, which can cater about 600-700 people. So we'll be doing in the ship itself the competition and also performance and also selling not only Sabah Sarawak food, because when we come here we do need to adjust. We also sell Malaysian food, but the event will be focused purely on Sabah Sarawak in November. Besides the Sabah Sarawak product events, we also do a roadshow. I just created a brand this year. We call it Little Malaysia. You can go to the Facebook Little Malaysia UK. So what Little Malaysia UK sends me, we are going all over UK to promote Malaysia. So in that, we also have a Sapet player. Sapet player from Sarawak, he's a Penan. Okay, he stays with me for 6 months. So he'll be performing during the roadshow. All over UK will be traveling. So that is we started that last week in a ship until November is the last closing with the Borneo festival. So that's how we travel. We just don't look as one-off, but we look as a long-term event promoting Sabah Sarawak. Because one-off Gawai Kamatan won't sustain. We need to go ongoing, especially giving awareness. And also I try to work with any parties. I used to promote to anybody. Like now I'm going for a roadshow. I welcome any Sabah Sarawak groups who want to promote their homestays. Because when I go for my roadshow, they ask packages. They ask something on Sabah Sarawak. So we welcome anybody to work. Only thing we can't give money because we don't have funds to give. So anybody want to work, in fact, if anybody want to come from Sabah Sarawak, want to join me to promote dancing and then promote the homestay, they are welcome. In fact, I was even recently, I was telling we can do online live show. Use Eventbrite. Just say during the booming of the flower in Sabah, you can use online as a commercial product to do that live show. So there's so many ways to generate income for Borneo. It's not just to come over. You can do it online. Online, there's a big market because now online awareness is very, very high all over the world. After COVID, people looking online is another option. So we can do that for promoting Sabah Sarawak. Besides Borneo products, I also just started. This is involves. This is not only Malaysia; involves 8 countries. I'll be launching soon. I call it first British Entrepreneur Award. Involves about 124,000 worth of money, education program and cash program, promoting actually developing a cake lapis all over the world. It's like a franchise concept. It's competition. We give people prize money. We give people education, a degree program to winners. Go back to their country, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, and start the business. So we are going to, it's all up, the sponsorship. There's a college. He's a Sarawakian-owned college. He's sponsoring the education program. It's worth about £100,000. It's equivalent to a degree to winners. So all winners of each country, we get 3 winners for each country. They'll start the business in their country, indirectly promoting Borneo product. We want to move it fast in a simple way. Rather than we go to Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, it's difficult. A lot of regulation. So a Philippine will start the business in Philippines. A Thailand will start the business in Thailand. So we don't have worried about regulations, laws, and things like that. They are a local of the country, they'll start. So this is part of our program where we move fast to develop Borneo products. So Borneo products, from my experience, there's high potential. Not just only during Gawai Keamatan. The Keamatan Sabah organizing is superb event. I've been. They have a super crowd there. It's good to do more things, especially developing products, ongoing products. Rice wine can be a super product exporting to Western countries. It's a very unique drink because I've done this for about 10 years in UK, promoting rice wine. In fact, they say rice wine is better than sake. Sake is a world wine, it's more famous, but they say rice wine is better, easy to drink compared to sake. Sake is cloudy. So if there's an option for things, then that's not only that. I'm not sure in Sabah they have, even Sabah, you know, the leaf they use to blacken the bamboo rotan mat and all that. There's one kind of leaf Sarawakians use. I need Sabahans also use that leaf. This guy brought in because I noticed that leaf can be done a research to extract the black color to do hair dye, shoe dye. So there are things, adventurous things. People must look and open up to look the product. It's not just during the festival. How shall we develop further? The dye, you know, hair dye is a big market all over the world. And Sabah has the leaf, Sarawak has the leaf to dye. They're now using for rotan, so for bags and all that. But can that leaf used to develop hair dye or polish shoe dye? So that is somebody, I just spoke to somebody to do a research, look at the elements of the leaves. Can that be developed for developing the product? Of course, there are rule and regulation, local laws in the Borneo, which you can't bring in things out. But you need to start somewhere and then look further and how to develop the products. So so that's how we are. So for me, sustaining is very, very important. I know all of you telling about financial is definitely, that is the biggest challenge. My advice, just start small and grow big. Never start big. Sponsors will come in, but sponsors also on and off. So start small and grow and sustain based on your capacity. That's what I do in Kuala Lumpur, in London. I do based on my capacity. We can't have big sponsors, and then government is always limited of money. I mean, I spoke to the Minister of Tourism. He knows my event. I'm having a little Malaysia all over UK, but it's not easy to get government fund. So just move, fix your date, because one is the beauty thing to save cost is fixed dates. Once you fix your dates, everything you can save 50% of the cost. So that's it. Okay, thank you very much for inviting. Sorry, the video is not, doesn't appear. I don't know why. And then sorry for the shortcoming. And after that, we have question and answer. We can answer whatever. Thank you, boy.
Great. Thank you, Lawrence. Yeah, nice and short, and but very informative. I know for a fact that there's a lot of things happening in London related to the great work that you and your wife Monica have been doing. So it's great to see. We will share that more as we go through our WhatsApp team, WhatsApp group later on. Okay, now thank you all very much for your contributions. It's wonderful to know what is happening in your area or your part of the world, because it's one day I'm hoping that some of you guys will end up in places like Nova Scotia or the Arctic Circle, maybe that kind of thing. So the Kalazans will be all over the world, all over the place. It will be wonderful to see. Anyway, so now we come to the Q&A. We aim to finish at 3:15, Ken, if that's okay. But depending on the
Hi,
discussion that
sorry.
we're doing, then we'll do that. If you don't mind, Emily, I just ask you whether you would say a few words relating to your event or what is happening in Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah.
Please do. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Emily Elvera Edward. I have my slides sliding, but I unable to put it on because I have problem with my laptop. So I'm gonna send it later on in the WhatsApp group probably after our forum. But basically, I'm gonna talk about what I'm doing. I'm an justice activist, a human rights activist, and recently, last year during the Kamatan Gawai Harvest Festival, in Mildura, Redcliffe, Victoria, Australia, last year on the 24th of 24th of June 2023. Before everything, since I also have trouble with my connection just now, I should start with
honor the guests. Sorry. So let me introduce, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, elders, and fellow indigenous people. It is an honor to stand before you today as we gather to celebrate Borneo Harvest Festival, a time of gratitude, reflection, and unity. And last night, I spoke to Mr. Richard Simon Punai personally with what I'm doing and all the injustices that happens in Borneo, that I felt dissatisfied because of we are not responding on it too much. We neglecting on it too much. And when we talk about Harvest Festival, it seems like we are expecting a celebration without really harvesting, because we lost our culture. We need to remaster our culture, and especially when it comes to indigenous people's struggle, we have to respond to the education system that apply for us, that has been denied our rights for education, for justice of the indigenous people. This festival is more than just a celebration of a crop we have harvested. It is a celebration of our rich culture, our heritage, and our tradition. It is a time to honor the wisdom of our ancestors and to recognize the strength and resilience of our people. However, while we celebrate, we must also confront the harsh reality that have plagued us since the days of British colonization in North Borneo, Sabah. The transfer of colonization from the British to Malaya under the guise of Malaysia was a betrayal of our human rights. Malaya has masqueraded under the name of Malaysia, robbing our lands of its precious oil and gas resources and returning a mere 5% to the state of Sabah. These injustices has left us struggling with our voices ignored and our grievance unanswered. Our beautiful rainforest, once a symbol of our identity and a source of sustenance, is being destroyed. Less than 50% of our jungle remains. And with it, our culture is under threat. Our elders, the keepers of our tradition and stories, are being mentally and emotionally destroyed as they are labeled pagan by their own family and children who have converted to more recognized religions. This internalized discrimination is a form of abuse, stripping our elders of their dignity and their rights to practice their belief. Our environment suffers as well. We claim to follow religious principles, yet we ignore the law of nature. Deforestation has become a silent, normalized activity, threatening our very existence. The separation from our traditional teaching is the separation from our traditional teaching destroyed by modern culture approach, leading to conflict over religious belief and egos. Our brothers and sisters fight over intolerance, further fracturing our unity. We, the First Nation of this land, have endured immense struggles in our question for self-determination, land grabs, by corporations claiming our ancestral lands as they own without consent, have left us displaced. They brandish the paper, imposing conditions on us to live on our land. The system designed before we were born demands we learn their language, their counting, and their laws, and risk being fooled and denied justice. They use terms like locus standi to deny our rights. A cycle of oppression, and we still celebrating Harvest Festival without looking at the main problem of our threat, of our cultural threat. Our elders struggle to thread with limited opportunities to achieve self-actualization through international markets. Their traditional practices of planting and harvesting, which could ensure their survival and recognition, are undervalued and unsupported. This lack of appreciation and opportunity denies them the peaceful existence every human's desire. Today, I propose a call to action to address the civil disobedience and injustices in Sabah, Borneo. We must seek international legal advice. We urge everyone to reach out to professors, international lawyers, and human rights organizations to scrutinize the Malaysia Agreement of 1963. This agreement, flawed and illegal, has caused widespread discrimination and suffering among the indigenous people of Borneo. Furthermore, we must highlight the demographic re-engineering by Malaya, granting citizenship to the illegal peoples in exchange for their conversion to religion for political gain. It is a sensitive topic, but we must address, otherwise it will never solve. This manipulation of our population undermines our cultural integrity and rights. To protect our heritage and secure our future, we must raise international awareness, highlight our plight on global platforms to garner support and recognition for our struggle, seek legal redress, collaborate with international legal experts to challenge the legality of the Malaysia Agreement and advocate our rights, preserve our culture, establish cultural preservation program to document and promote our traditional, ensuring they are passed down to future generations, empower our elders, provide support and opportunities for our elders to engage in traditional practices and trade, engaging the sense of purpose and value, protect our environment, advocate for sustainable practices, and enforce law that protect our rainforests and natural resources, promote unity and tolerance, foster a culture of mutual respect and understanding among different religion and cultural groups within our community. Ladies and gentlemen, our journey is not easy, but it is a necessary one. We owe it to our ancestors, to ourselves, and to our future generation to stand firm in the face of injustices. Let us unite in our quest for justice, preservation of our heritage, and protection of our land. Together we can overcome these challenges and ensure a prosperous, dignified future for all the indigenous people of Borneo. We hope for a change. If we do something, something will happen. If we do nothing, nothing will happen. Until when are we going to witness all of this discrimination happens in Sabah, Borneo? Until when? And we easily forget about all the injustices, struggle, every year, every time keamatan. The biggest party ever. We need to address our struggle, our real struggle. We need to empower our women. Not just simply put them into competition, beauty pageant competition. So what happened to those who only receive consolation? And it happens. It happens for more than 10 years. We have more than 100, like we have thousands of women competing in unduk ganda competition. But what happens to the rest? What are we doing? Have we built them enough? Or we just putting insecurity to them with the physical beauty? And how about the rental high rocket rental costs every time harvest festival? It's really sensitive, but we need to address all the problems that our indigenous people struggle. Thank you.
Yes, Alan, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. My screen ada something wrong with my laptop. I cannot see you guys. I can hear the voice, the presentation, but I cannot see the screen. So yeah, just proceed. But maybe we have been doing this for the past few hours, so maybe it's time to wrap. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Emily, for that very spirited presentation. We are all in awe of your passion, and of course these are real challenges we have. We all know, but we kind of resigned to it, and time for us to courageous and do something about all these challenges. Yes, let's be in touch again. Thank you very much. And I'm not sure if any more questions. I do want to end this now as soon as possible, because I think we've been doing for quite well. Any more question? That's very perhaps somebody's really eager to ask a question. Otherwise, we will thank everybody for the great session. Any question, raise your hand. Maybe we take one or two more. If not, we will conclude our fantastic event today.
Ken, I think I just came back. Sorry, I had to do something. I think if everyone can put their cameras on, we can take a group photograph.
Yes.
Before we finish, that would be great. Thank you.
take screenshot.
Who's taking a screenshot? I'm not sure.
Oh no, yeah. Okay.
Ken or Cousin Richard?
Richard. I'm going to rely on the recording. Have you screenshot, Richard? Okay. Okay, Richard, as the head organizer, say a few last words and then we wrap it up, and also Boyd and myself to conclude. I don't think we should carry on further.
All right. Yeah, I just want to thank everyone, from the moderator to all the panelists to all the special guests. I couldn't ask more than what we have today. It's a great knowledge sharing, and I really appreciate everyone for your contribution to this forum. We will try to document all this, probably print it with the long version, of course, not the 15-minute version. So that's our next project. Well, thank you again, everyone. Thank you, Cousin Boyd. Thank you, Ken, Ellen, Wena, Rohana, Emily, Dr. Lawrence. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Big applause to Richard for spending all this effort to organize this. Thank you very much, Richard. I know you're busy with 2 restaurants to run, and yet you're able to do this. Thank you, Boyd, for hosting. Thank you, Alan, for supporting as well, our Vice President. Of course, thank you, Juanita, for that amazing presentation, Rohana, and all the panelists, Albinus, Audrey, Emily, and everyone. We are so appreciative, because this is it. We do this, we start this small, and hopefully we'll snowball into bigger things and bigger things. If anything we can do every year is to do this session of Pan Borneo Festival, even if it is virtual, we achieve something. But I'm sure we can progress to the next level. Sabah, Sarawak, Pan Borneo event. We have Kalimantan Barat, Kalbar, where the majority Dayaks are there, but there are other areas as well. Kaltim, Kalsel, there are Dayaks there as well. So hopefully we can invite more Dayaks from the other Kalimantan province to be involved. But most importantly, Nusantara, the new capital, we all going to be heading there, because big events can happen there. Big cultural events can happen then. We're going to be meeting there, I'm sure, in the very near future. So Nusantara is going to be a major location for our Borneo Forum, Borneo people in the future. Preservation of our culture is one thing. The development of the business, e-commerce, the economy of our people. And of course, as Emily said, the protection of our rights is important. And as Boyd said, the protection of environment is even more important. Thank you very much. Kotohadan. Terima kasih.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a good day,
Thank you.
everyone.
Keep in touch. Keep in touch.
Yeah, keep in touch.
Yeah, keep in touch, everyone.